Tiffany is in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Hi, Tiffany. How are you?
I'm honestly doing wonderful. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Wonderful. Well, it's an honor to speak with you, sir.
You too.
My husband and I, we are so close to being out of baby step 2. We just have our student loans paid off, and hopefully by our 1-year wedding anniversary in May, we have about $26,000 left on them. And then we can start paying off the house. Now, we have an idea as to where we want to kind of plan on for this next step. My question is, my dad went through a divorce and bankruptcy, and he got all the kids' student Parent Plus loans under his name. And this is something my husband and I feel very strongly about helping him with, since I did stupid debt and went to university for 5 years. And so we're wondering, first off, where in the baby steps would we put that if it's not out of bankruptcy until the fall? So we're not, sorry, I should also preface, he's not wanting me to pay for all of them, and I don't want him to pay for all of them. It's about $94,000 in his name after all this interest has accrued.
And how old are you?
I'm 27.
Okay. And what is your household income?
So this last year, I think we made about 80. We're hoping, I'm commission-based, to make about 130 this next year, since we both started new jobs.
Okay, and I think the story I'm hearing, and you correct me if I'm wrong, is that your mom and dad took out loans to send you to college, and then they divorced, and your dad got saddled with them.
And my dad didn't. He wanted to help us out, but my mom kind of originally said, hey, if you don't do this to help the kids, I'm going to leave you,
and
then
she did anyway. But that's not the issue.
Yeah.
The issue that I'm wanting to make sure I've got clear is, at no point in the conversation before you went to college or while you were in college did you say, these are my loans. They said, we're going to take care of our kids. We're taking out loans to send them to school.
I was a little bit completely absent-minded to the whole fact.
That's not what I'm saying. There was no
Okay.
time that your dad said, I'm taking out these loans and you are promising to pay me for them.
Correct.
That never happened.
No.
So I want to clarify, I don't mind you helping your parents with their mess, but this is their mess.
Okay.
You're 27 years old. This is your parents' mess.
Yes.
Your parents made a mess. And I'm sorry they're in that, and I'll be happy to try to help your dad any way I can, but you're not in a position to help him. You're broke.
Mm-hmm.
And you just feel bad for him.
I really do.
Yeah, but I want to set you free from that. You didn't make this mess. Your dad and mom are a mess. Their marriage was a mess. Their finances were a mess. They're a hot mess. Is that right?
Yes.
Their dad and mom, we love them. We're not mad at them, but they're a hot mess. Mm-hmm. And you don't call your 27-year-old kid doesn't come along and clean up your hot mess when you're in your 50s. That's not how this works. So what I would tell you to do is maybe not what you're going to do because you feel so boundaryless in this issue, but I would say that you and your husband need to get your financial act together. You need to get out of debt. You need to build your emergency fund. You need to start building wealth. And some years down the road, not now for sure, if you have some extra money and you want to give it to your dad in the name of this issue, that's fine. But you guys need to get out of debt, get your life started, get an emergency fund, buy a house, and save up a bunch of money. And then if you've got an extra $50,000 and you just want to throw it your dad's way as a wink and a nod, a tip of the hat to say thanks for my education, that's okay. But you don't have a moral obligation. You sure as crud don't have a legal obligation, and you don't have anything here except just a guilt trip.
Right. And this was kind of our idea going into it. He never brought it up. I guess I did feel bad. One of our thoughts, since we do have a house, we have about 60 left on that, and we have about 60 in equity. We both want to build our next home and pay in cash for it.
Good.
We had contemplated selling the house. We both want to live in downtown Rockford. In Michigan, it's just beautiful just to experience it for a year or two. We thought about maybe renting, and then with the equity, it would pay off everything, and then we would still have a nice chunk for down payment saved up for, and we would just add on to that. Do you think maybe that would be a good idea?
As long as you're 100% debt-free, you have your emergency fund in place, and you are living your life properly, and extra money above all of that is what you would help your dad with. I am not going to put the burden of cleaning up their hot mess on a 27-year-old daughter. That's just wrong. If you want to do it and you're healthy financially enough to do it, that's okay. You're not today, though. You're going to have to make some of the moves where you're talking about or thinking about to be able to do that. You need to get off this guilt trip. You're doing this with the wrong motivation. This is charity. It's not obligation.